A budget is more than just a series of numbers on a page. It is an embodiment of our values. Hey everyone, I am Pooja. Recently, the Indian Finance Minister, Srimati Nirmala Sitharaman, announced the Indian budget for the financial year 2023-2024. That gives us a nice topic for us to analyze, and here I am to give you a small brief about it. Indian budget for the financial year 2023-2024. Have you ever thought about what happens to the taxes that you pay? Have you ever felt that precious hard-earned money of yours is just going as a waste? The answer to all these questions can be found in just one document called as the budget. Yeah. So let's discuss about how the budget is being formed in the first place rather than moving on to what the budget is talking about. So the budget making process has three phases to it. Now, before these three phases, I would like you all to think about these three questions. How much money does India earn? How much money is India going to spend? Where should our focus be in the upcoming financial year? The answer to these questions will be prepared in a span of 6 months. That is, when it is getting announced in 2023 February, it is being prepared from 2022 August. The budget planning starts from there. So the first step, the finance minister issues a circular to all the other ministries and asks them to give a small estimate on their budget, how much they are going to spend in the upcoming financial year. So all these ministries, what they do, they will take an estimate of all the expenditure they have had from April. So if they are talking about the budget in 2023, then April 2022 to August 2022, whatever was their expenses, that will be estimated. And along with that, the additional amount needed for the upcoming projects in the upcoming financial year, that is 2023-24, the upcoming projects which are there, for that whatever additional amount is needed, that is also added and that is formed as the estimate. This estimate will be given to the finance ministry. Now, once it is given to the department or ministry of finance, the finance minister comes up with an estimate as to how much GDP should grow in the next year. So this takes us to the step 2 or phase 2. So here what they do, the above two figures, that is the estimate given by various ministries and the estimate or the GDP prepared by the Ministry of Finance, both put together will be given to the higher officials or higher authorities. And from there, the approval is needed. Now, before this approval, okay, this process might take hardly a month or so. Then why 6 months? That is because before it reaches the higher officials, before the approval stage, the finance minister starts consulting with all the other major stakeholders of the country. So stakeholders need not only mean the topmost business people. Yes, it includes them. It also includes various trade bodies or trading bodies. And along with them, even farmers, the farmer unions are taken in for consideration, etc. Other bodies which are forming as a stakeholder for the country's economy, they are taken into picture. So for all these process, it takes nearly 6 months. Not exactly six, approximately. So what they do is, this will lead us to the end of phase 2 or step 2. Then comes the phase 3 or step 3. So what happens here is The finance minister, along with the prime minister, will start discussing on the budget, the final budget which has been approved. So, after this discussion, what happens? All the people, those who were a part of the budget making process, they are all locked up in a particular place. Yes, they are being locked up. Now, before they are locked up, this will happen somewhere around in Jan. So, in January, they are what they do is they actually present this final budget as discussed with the prime minister in the Ministry of Finance to all the related members of the ministry, and then all of them, those who were a part of the budget making process, will be kept away from the society for a couple of days. That is till 1st of February. Now, if any of the information from the budget making process comes out into the market, or if it gets leaked, then it could cause a major threat to the country itself, as it has a direct impact on the country's economy. So, to avoid that, they start locking people, those who are part of the budget making process. Not exactly locked, but they're asked to, they're given all the amenities required, but they're kept away from the society for a couple of days. So, on 1st of February, the finance minister will, officially, she will declare it in the parliament. This is the procedure which we have been following all this while. So, now coming to the budget presentation process. So prior to the presentation, just one day before, that is 31st of January, what is happening to Indian economy? What was the performance of India's economy in the previous year? All these estimate is given. It is given to the public. Okay, so it is publicly declared. And after that, that is on 1st of February, there are two parts in presenting the budget. So the first part deals with the budget speech and announcement. The second part deals with the accounts. So coming to the budget announcements. Here a roadmap of the Indian economy is given. A roadmap in the sense it's a direction, a general direction in which India's policies will be made in the upcoming financial year. So there are two types of announcements again, a general announcement and specific announcement. Coming to the second part, that is the accounts. Now, this is where the entire country has their eyes on. So that is the major portion where it deals about the taxes and so many other things, how much we are supposed to pay, what about the interest rates, what about the loan, and so on. Is there any loan waiver? All these come under budget accounts. So now there are three major documents that comes in budget accounts. The first is the receipt budget, second is the expenditure budget, third is demands for grants of central government. So coming to receipt budget, how much money should be received and from where? This estimate is found in this receipt budget. So it has a list. The complete list will be found there, including the income tax, GST and customs, fees and penalties, loans and grants, etc. Coming to the expenditure budget, it discusses about the areas of expenditure in the financial year 2023-24. Demands for grants of central government, that is the third document that is in consideration. This talks about how much money was asked by which ministry and for what purpose. Now, with all of these things, a finance bill is made. Now, what are the points it considers, the finance bill? It's only the tax announcements. All announcements related to tax, only they are taken and a bill is framed called as finance bill. This bill should be passed in the parliament. The government cannot spend even one single rupee of yours without getting the parliament's approval. So all bills will go to the parliament. Only after that, they can do something about it. Only after the parliament's approval. So once the parliament has approved this finance bill, accordingly, the respective acts will be framed in the respective years. So this is all about the procedure on how a budget is being made. Right. So, coming to what about this Indian budget is talking about? India is definitely charting a path of its own that has become more than evident in the budget. The main focus of the budget is to create a prosperous and inclusive society by 2024. That is when India will be completing 100 years of its independence. India aspires to be a superpower by then and has a blueprint ready for the next 25 years. The coming 25 years has been branded by the Prime Minister as the Amrit Kal. The Amrit Kal is said to be a period, a very auspicious period, a period with plethora of opportunities. This budget is called the first in Amrit Kal, that is the first in its 25 years leap. And India will be spending $550.7 billion in the upcoming fiscal. That is an increase of over 7% from the last budget. The seven priorities or the areas of focus of this budget called as Saptarishi, which would guide India in the Amrit Kal. They are inclusive development, reaching the last mile, infrastructure and investment, unleashing the potential, green growth, youth power, and financial sector. Now, there's a big takeaway that is increased spending on capital expenditure. Now, why on capital expenditure and why not on revenue expenditure? Okay. So, capital expenditure, the answer is very simple. The thing is this, they have found that an estimate is taken where for every 1 rupee spent on capital expenditure, a return of 2.5 rupees is found. So, it is comparatively much better when compared to revenue expenditure, and spending more on the infrastructure is seemingly good and long lasting. It has better returns. So, for this reason, it is going to spend more on capital expenditure. India's capex is rated to be over $122 billion in 2023-24. That is a 3.3% of the GDP, which means an increase of 33% from last year. India intends to ramp up on defense, education, and health spending. Green energy transmission or transition. India will be introducing these initiatives to achieve transition towards green economy as the country eyes on attaining net zero emissions by 2070. Enhanced funding for energy storage projects, renewable energy evacuation, green credit program, PM program for amelioration of Mother Earth, promoting the use of biogas, afforestation of mangroves. The finance minister also mentioned about three centers of excellence which would boost India's AI. She said the focus is on Make AI in India and making AI work for India. India will be investing $367 million in its semiconductor mission. The investment expediting the development of semiconductor ecosystems in India. At present, India relies entirely on its imports in order to meet its semiconductor requirements. Leading industry players will partner in conducting interdisciplinary research and develop cutting edge applications and scalable problem solutions in the areas of agriculture, health, and sustainable cities. This will galvanize an effective AI ecosystem and nurture quality human resource in the field. So, what is the budget impact on common man? For starters, income tax rebate limit has been increased to 7 lakh rupees, which was previously 5 lakh rupees. The tax slabs have been reduced to 5 from 7, which is expected to bring a lot of cheer in the middle class sections of the society. So, is the budget only to reduce things? No, certain things have got costlier as well. Let's see what are they. So, what gets costlier? Vehicles, cigarettes, precious metals, bicycles, toys, etc. have got costlier. And what has got cheaper? Inputs for mobile phone manufacturing, lithium ion cells, aeroplanes and other aircraft, specific inputs for electric vehicles, etc. have got cheaper. So if this has given you a small analysis, a small gist of what our Indian budget is and how it is being framed, then I hope I have done something here today. And thank you for watching. Have a good time.